Hello, everyone, and welcome. Just waiting on um, my the guy I invited from Morocco, who happens to be a descendant of a Moor. I'm actually running a little late, so I just gotta get over to Facebook and see if he's available. Okay, just give me a minute, please. Just hold. On the link. Ah, here he is. Okay, here we go. How are you, my friend?
Hello?
Hey, can you hear me?
Yep, I can hear you clearly.
Good, awesome. Thank you for coming on tonight.
Yeah, I appreciate having me here.
Yeah, and just give it just a brief, um, just a brief description. You don't have to give your name. Just a brief description of who you are and just a, kind of a little bit of a background of how you're a descendant of the Moors.
Okay, I will start. I'm sorry, I'm hearing some echo. I'm new to this app. Can I fix this?
Um, let's see. It might be on my end. Hold on a minute.
Okay.
Let me just get to my settings here. Hold on one second. I know there's a way to fix it. And okay, just audio speakers. Okay, how about now?
Hello?
Yeah, can you hear
That's
me now?
correct.
Is
Yeah,
the echo
yeah.
gone? Okay, good.
Yeah,
So
no, it
good.
was gone. That's great. It's perfect.
Okay. Okay. Again, thank you for coming on.
Yeah, I appreciate it. I appreciate having me here. Thank you so
Yeah.
much. Um, so to give a general description about where I come from. For the term Moors, it stands for the people who live, specifically Berbers, because it's applied on Berbers specifically that live in North West Africa, right? Spotted in Morocco,
Yeah.
and it's a general term for this whole region of Morocco. Like you could even say a little bit of Algeria, right to the south, Mauritania, and all of the region is you can find Moors everywhere there, like specifically in this region, Morocco. And if you look like closely to the word Morocco, it has Morocco basically, right? So that's the first thing you ever notice in the word of the country itself. So it stands for muro, basically.
Yeah. And that's
And
what. Yeah. Go ahead.
yeah,
Sorry to
yeah,
let you talk.
yeah. I just like because it then for the whole it's a general term. Then if you look closely into the Moors in here in Morocco, there's they are separated to tribes. So I come from the Saharian tribe. That's my origins. They call it Snaga, or as known in Arab, Sanhaja, right? The Arabizated word. So, but we are known for to be Snaga. That's like the tribe of Berber that I come from. It's located in southern Morocco.
Okay. So, can you see the picture that I have posted on the computer here?
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
With,
I can see it.
with the people that are holding a Moroccan flag and the American flags.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Would you? Okay, these people consider themselves Moors,
Mm-hmm.
and to my understanding, and what I've researched the last few years, there was very, very, very few black folks that were Moors,
Mm-hmm.
and these people have, of all the research I've done on the so-called Moorish Americans, they have no ties to the Moors, and I've seen videos where people from Morocco really don't tolerate black folks all that much.
Mm-hmm.
So, what is your opinion on these Americans calling themselves Moors when they don't have any affiliation whatsoever to the actual Moors.
Yeah. So for those specific people that claim to be like us, basically, like in Morocco,
Yeah,
they have I've looked into it way before because we've interacted with these people on social media a lot, and they have such a like bad arguments like to prove that they are Moors, because in Morocco, like here, we indeed have black people, right? We can't deny that there's black people basically everywhere. But
yes,
if you come to my region where I'm from, like my hometown, where like my dad is from, or my grandpa is from, or my whole family is from, and you definitely gonna find a lot of black people there. But if you ask them about their history and what they've been through, they would never deny that they're from sub-Sahara and they came from specific countries that they name and remember themselves, and they have less names different than ours. And that doesn't mean anything really, but like we don't like, what I'm trying to say is we don't deny the presence of like black people here in Morocco, or like to be called the Moors too, like because that applies on them. They picked up the culture, they picked up everything else, and they basically like us, right? But for these folks in USA to claim us and say that they are Moors, and they have, I don't know, I've heard and I've read that they say that they have some verses of Quran that are secrets and that belongs to them, and there is that prophet and stuff like that. They claim some evidence. They say there's the promised land, whatever. All of these evidence are so weak, like historically speaking, genetically speaking, like logically speaking, even it have nothing to do with us, and they frame it just for the black skinned people, which is totally wrong. Like we don't deny in Morocco, of course, if you look deep into it, genetically Moors are a specific race, but culturally we don't like say this belongs to this guy, or this sort of like people, whatever. you know Moors was applied on a lot of races, but was originally from Moroccans, Berbers, right? But
yes,
surprisingly, these people claim it for only black folks, which is totally wrong, right? This is not their culture. Even when you look at their way of dressing, has nothing to do with us. It's even at some point funny, right? When I look at them, they all dressed up weird, and then they put the fez hat, the red hat that you see, it's called fez hat or Moroccan hat. They put it on. It doesn't even fit the whole costume. They didn't even pick the culture in a whole. If you know what I'm saying, to
yeah.
claim something that they're not.
I 100% agree with you. So their Quran, I'm just having I just can't remember what it is, but their so-called prophet Timothy Drew, which goes by Noble Drew Ali,
Hmm.
basically copied their Quran from I think it's a book. If I may have the title wrong, but it's the Aquatic Life of Jesus Christ, or something similar to that, and he just basically copied it word for word and called it the Moorish American Quran.
Yeah.
And I understand that the Holy Quran is 100% totally different than the Moorish American Quran.
Hmm.
And then the Moorish American like to call themselves Muslims, not Muslims.
Oh, that's new to me actually.
Yeah, it's Moslem.
Oh,
Yeah,
ah, I never knew that part exactly, and I haven't read their Quran, but to be clear, like to be totally clear for people here to explain it. See, religion have nothing to do with being Moor, right? Moor is more of like the region where you're from and your ancestry, if you know what I'm saying.
yes,
Like
yeah,
if you look into genetics, as I said, culturally, of course, it's diverse. Like any culture, you could find different people, but genetically, it belongs to Northwest Africa, which is Morocco nowadays, and it has nothing to do with religion. It just the whole culture was spread more because Islam, right? Because Arabs, when Arabs came here, and then They gave us like they conquered us basically. I wouldn't say they gave us anything. Basically, they conquered us, and then we took that message of Islam, we spread it across the world. Then the Moors spread more widely across Iberian island, and they were more known there. It was just a tool for us to be known more in the whole Europe region, like in the Spain and everything. But it has nothing to do with Islam. It has nothing, literally nothing to do with Muslim. That doesn't equal Islam. And to be clear, if you would ever claim to be a Muslim, then having a secret Quran or a new Quran is totally off the path of being Muslim. If actually they might know that, right? Because there is only, as we believe in, there's only one book that is called Quran. It's the same in Morocco, same one in Saudi Arabia. You could find the same one in Indonesia. It's the same Quran. There is no secret verses whatsoever. It's not actually true. But I was surprised that they call
Okay.
themselves different. Well, I think it's more of a cult, not
Yeah,
a
that's
religion.
what it is. It's a cult.
Yeah.
I've been researching these Moorish American people for a little over 8 years now, and
Oh.
I know that there's newspaper articles back in the um, back in the 1930s or 40s. They were called a cult and stuff like that,
Hmm.
and um, and today they're called a cult, or basically they're sovereign citizens, like basically an anti-government, anti-American
Yeah.
organization, and stuff like that. And
Yeah.
so I want you to listen to this. This is a woman who goes by the name of Light Tajiri Bey. She is a member of the Moorish Science Temple, and she does live streams 2 days a week. So I just want you to listen to the her introduction
Hmm.
here for a couple of minutes. Then just we'll talk about that.
Okay. Hello.
Yeah, can you hear you? Can you hear her?
Uh, no, no. I thought still. I still can't hear her.
Okay, I don't know what's going on here, so let me just stop that. Okay, hold on 1 second here. Yeah, so this is this woman. So when the Moorish Americans greet each other, they say Islam. You guys don't go around every time you see each other and just say Islam. And um, they also claim to be the descendants of the Moabites and the Canaanites. I'm not. I can't find any information about Moors being descendants of the Moabites and the Canaanites. So
I'm not. Can I like because I'm not familiar. See, I'm not familiar with names. If like if you know what I'm saying, because some
yeah,
some names that are translated from, for example, Arabic or like Hebrew into like other languages, they get me confused. So I we speak the Canaanites. Are we speaking about Middle East?
yes,
Oh, so Canaan. Okay. So
yeah,
where Canaanis. Okay. So that's the term of it in Arabic. Yeah, I've
okay,
seen, indeed, I've seen a lot of people that claim to be from there too, to be Hebrew, right? If that's what we
yeah.
speak. we're speaking about. Yeah, they claim to be Hebrew. They claim to be Canaanites. They claim to be as well indigenous people of America, like uh, Native Americans. I've seen,
Exactly.
I've seen, I've seen people promoting and dressing and dancing as Native Americans, and that was quite surprising for me because I was like, okay, so we're not the only ones that get attacked from these people in Egypt as well, which they call Kemet or Kemet,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
And it's quite surprising because I just don't get the whole concept. Like, are you a specific like are you a specific culture, like race, or what are you exactly? Like I never got the concept of these people because sometimes they're trying to be Egyptians, they're trying to be again, trying to be Canaanites, trying to be Arabs, trying to be Native Americans. I never got the whole concept of exactly. Well, I don't know what to call it actually because I'm getting surprised every time someone comes up with something new like that, and it's only for these cultures like Sub-Sahara or like the whole south of Africa is full of different beautiful cultures. I just don't get, I don't understand why North Africa exactly and Middle East and Native America, like Native American culture and stuff. Like, why not to look into the actual culture of where they came from? Like, because genetically, North Africa is totally different than Southern Africa and Middle, like Central Africa, and
Yes.
it was quite surprising for me.
Yes. Um, I've noticed a few articles on the Moroccan World News
Hmm.
website, and one of them it talks about the American religion that makes them Moroccan, and that's the Moorish American people.
Hmm.
Their prophet stated that were if they could trace their family to Morocco, then they are a Moor, which is 100% false information.
Hmm. Indeed.
Yeah, but they also see things um, like there's different definitions of Moor, Moor, and
Hmm.
Moor as a landmass. Um, I've seen it where in England they have what is called the Yorkshire Moors, which is a land mass. So they take that, they see Yorkshire Moors, and they believe it's a people, not a land, and they continue to say, "Oh, we're also Yorkshire Moors." Okay, how can you be a land when you are a people? It's like every time
Yeah.
they see the word "more," they think it pertains to
Try
them.
to, they try to associate it with them.
Yes,
Well, actually, I've seen just I don't know if people know about this because I have done researches, some actually shallow researches that popped up easily and obvious. I could state sources if people are asking for some, and I looked into the definition of Moors in from the perspective of Western people, as we call them, like Europeans or like other people that that's mentioned us in their books, and I found so many definitions, but it's like more of it comes with time. Like, first it was applied on Berbers that live in North Africa, specifically in the West North Africa, and then it was applied on Muslims in general. So Islam doesn't have a specific race or whatever, so you can be anything, you can be Muslim at the same time. So it was applied on that, and then it was divided in between black Moors and Moors. So if you already have Moors, like origin, no, I'm saying if you have black Moors, then it means that there is some other Moor that are not black, right? If you know what
yep,
I'm saying. Like,
yes,
those are original Moors, then there is black Moors that came after the Moors, the actual ones. And then I've seen that it was just later on applied on the black people that converted into Islam, and they were set free from slavery, as some says in some researches that I've read about some people that did researches. And um, and the crazy thing is when like whenever they find a black face, picture in those old medieval
Yes.
paintings, they claim that these are their ancestors, and they had, like, you can see that they were attacking or concurring somewhere, such things like that. But when I've done I like a shallow research about it, I find out that Europeans pictured what they believe was evil with black, if you know what I'm saying.
Yeah.
So that was, let's say, that was us conquering Spain, Andalusia back in time, and for Europeans to express how evil they saw us because we conquered their land. That's basically, we are evil. We killed and whatever. It's in history. It says like that we conquered it, and they
The
didn't
Muslim invasion of Southern Europe.
Iberia. Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. And they wouldn't
Yeah.
appreciate it. They have their land taken away, so they would paint us as evil. And they painted our faces in black color. And when these people see it like from like another perspective, they say, "Oh, these are black people." No, that's not true, right? Because the features of the people have nothing to do with other paintings that meant to be for a black man, because the features are different, if you know what I mean. So
Yes.
I
Exactly.
see I see I see that they rely on some stuff, as you said, just like a shallow word, something more, and they claim it, like a picture, and then they claim it. Anything that they feel that they associate with, they just easily claim it and say that that's their ancestry, and it's totally not based on anything like strong, or not, no argument that could hold itself together. It's all
Yeah.
about their logic, their own logic, and their mind.
Yeah. They believe these American, so-called Moorish American, believe that they were here prior to Christopher Columbus discovering America. They were here before the Native Americans actually got here, and there's no proof that the Moors were ever here in the United States, and that gets them upset when you start telling them that their information is not right. The Moorish invasion, or the Moorish Empire, was in Northwest Africa and Southern Europe. It wasn't in the North America or South America.
I'm sorry, I lost you for a second. Can you repeat the last two phrases?
So they believe. So the Moorish Empire was in Northwest Africa and Southern Europe. The so-called Moors of America believe that the Moors were actually in the Americas before anybody else.
Yeah, I've heard of that. I've read it.
Yeah,
Some
and
like yeah.
there's no evidence of Moors actually being in the Americas.
Hmm.
And when you tell them that, they tell you no, it's false. It's the Moors were here in America first.
Hmm.
So if the Moors
Yeah,
were here in America first, there'd be history of it,
of course.
and there's no history of it.
Yeah, that's the thing with those false claims, because they have nothing. Like I always tell, like, 'cause I discuss with some friends, because we in Morocco, if you have any if I have any like idea about the movement of Moorish nationalism, or it's not, I wouldn't call it nationalism, but it's more like I forgot the other word, but like defending your country and being proud of the heritage. It's not
Yeah,
nationalism. It's more of another word that I can't really remember. But we have a whole community here in Morocco that is called the Moorish movement, and I have some couple friends that are engaged in it, and then we have this, conversations about that, and I always state that genetics are the absolute um, proof of being something or not. Like like because if they would claim that Moors been to America, they have to have genetic traces there that dates back in time, in
Yes.
graveyards or like, and as you said, it has to be evidence of, for example, books or just like any like a temple or anything that they claim, and it's not showing anything. I've looked into so many results of those people that claim to be Moors, and there is no result of Northwest Africa, like totally not. Like Morocco, it says zero evidence, North African, like zero genetics. I'm sorry, and it's quite surprising how bold they still talk and how confident they still talk, even though genetics just have proved them wrong. If you know what I mean.
Yeah. And this is the issue with the so-called Moorish American. They don't believe in genetics.
Yeah, I've seen people that say, "Oh, it's the white people that do these researches. They play with them as they please," and yeah, it's just denial, I believe, because it's science. If that goes like that, then you just break the rules of science, because science needs you to be uh totally not picking sides. Science needs you to be uh more of uh like in the middle. Don't pick any sides, basically.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
that's the problem. I've argued with some people that claim to be Moorish from America, and they have this problem with color, right? I always
Yeah.
wanted to state that for people, and USA, basically, they talk about black, white, Asian, and for example, those, or Arab. Let's add Arab to it. Those four categories that you have to fit into one. Like, it doesn't make any sense. If you come to Europe, there is nothing called that, such as white people, like as
No.
it is there in USA. There's so many diverse cultures in what they call white people. Same for black people. If you came to Africa, if you look at Central and South Africa, there's so many diverse tribes. No one looks like another one. Shades of color at the same time, shade like different languages, different cultures. Same for North Africa too, different culture, not specifically different, but one is different from another. I just don't understand the categories of like putting people into some certain boxes. Like, you have to be this and that. Oh, you are white, so you don't belong to Africa. For example, they look at us. We have different skull color than them, and they just claim that we are white. We are been sent by the white man to concur. It's just doesn't make any sense. It's not
Yeah.
true. It,
Yeah.
I don't know where they come with that from, like, but it doesn't make any sense.
Yeah. But when you tell them that you're a Moor, they get really upset and start
Yeah,
throwing out racial slurs at you. And
exactly. I've been called a lot of. That's so funny because I'm Moroccan. I grew up in Morocco. Right, I've never been to anywhere else, and I only got to know the USA culture, basically the whole, because USA is a huge country that has different regions and cultures, and I just only got to know it these several days, and I understood from the whole thing that black people or people of color can't be racist, whatever. And then I was really shocked when I was talking to these people. I say, "Hi, I'm a Berber, I'm Moor, I'm African," and they go like, "No, you're not. You're just Arab. You're this, you're that. You're a mix of races. That isn't, then you're not pure. You don't belong to Africa. You're not black. Go back where you come from." Bro, you are in USA. You telling me that I live in Africa? What are you
yeah.
talking about? Like, I got so shocked about these stuff, like how they, as you said, throw slurs at me and get so mad.
Yeah. A lot of these so-called Moorish Americans are racist.
Yeah,
I,
indeed.
I really hate to say that.
Yeah, I mean, it's the truth. It's the truth, and I've seen like as I told you, like people have been saying a lot of stuff about us. Like a lot, I can't even like they say, oh, you're an Arab, you're a terrorist. I'm not even Arab. It's like offensive to me. For North Africans, it's offensive to say that you're an Arab because I speak my mother tongue. I speak Tamazight. I grew up. The mother tongue of North Africa is Tamazight, and I speak it, and I live by it, and I breathe this air. I eat their food. I grew up like that. To be a different, total different from Arabs, because if I could pull up a study about like the National Geographic did in North Africa, and that proved that there's only 4% of Arabs, and that destroys the claims of Moors because that's the only thing they hold on to. If they want to, shoo us off Africa, they say, "Oh, you don't belong here because you're Arab. You came with the conquest of Arabs. You don't.
Yeah.
You're not what you think you are, and you're genetically Arab." No, I'm not. 4% of in the whole region of North Africa, like talking about Morocco, Tunisia, Algeria, Libya, and Egypt, 4% of Arabs. That's so small. That's like
Okay.
minorities. So that breaks down your arguments of saying I'm not African because I am, and then they just attack you with slurs and whatever,
Yes.
racial um, discrimination whatsoever.
Yeah. Then um they call the Moroccan flag the Moorish flag.
Oh, that's wait, you reminded me of that part. Yeah, sorry for interrupting.
Yeah. And the the Moorish flag, Moroccan flag, they say is over 10,000 years old, and I've shown them a number of times that it's not the oldest flag in the world.
Yeah,
Um,
what? That's pretty new. I'm sorry, because this is pretty new to me. Like they claim that. That's surprising.
yeah, it's amazing how much they think they know, which they don't know anything.
That's the thing. If you wouldn't mind, I can speak about the flag actually.
Okay.
Like if you have some time, I can speak about the origins of the word. I mean, people might have a big idea about it. That's great, and I'd love to frame it more from the perspective of a Berber, of a Moor person who lived here. So for the flag that they're talking about are they talking about this flag exactly, the one shown in the picture?
Yes.
That's totally wrong. That was just made like not even 100 years ago.
Yeah.
Like when that's funny. They didn't even pick the right flag. See, in Morocco, the symbol of our movement is called Moorish movement, as I said. Is that it's that star of 8 points, if you know, like those squares that go
Yeah.
against each other and then they form a star. It's called the Marinid star, and the Marinid descendants was the first descendant that used it, and it was an official flag for a huge like descendant in there, and they're originally from central Morocco, and they built a beautiful civilization, and then you know that countries changed their destinies during time. And there was a Muwahidi flag as well. It's like a red flag, but in the middle of it there is a chest board looking thing.
Yes.
Um,
I've seen that.
yeah, that is. I would have said that is more Moorish than what they have. Their claims based on something that is not even true. That's what I meant when I said they didn't even pick the cultural whole. They only picked the hat, the fez hat. They only picked, I don't know, like as if they wanted to steal it, but they didn't steal it all. And I'm glad because now we have evidence of the difference of being a real Moor and trying to copycat this culture, because the flags that have been here totally Moor are totally different than this one. This one has been just recently created after, I think, after we've been colonized by French and Spain, and
Yeah.
that was just like 100 something years ago. But if you want to talk about like 400, 300, 600 years old flag, we talk about these ones. I'm talking about right now. Marinid flag and Wahidi flag are the actual Moorish flags that have been here, and they are shown in European medieval paintings. You can see it clearly. And about the name, as I said, I want to state that the name is pretty old. It's like goes back to I reckon 60 year years before Christ, or like so 100 even. And if you know a little bit about Morocco, it dates back to the kingdom of Mauritania, because the name Mauritania was originally from here, and it comes from Tamur Tnagh. Basically in Tamazight we say Tamur Tnagh, which means our land.
Hold
So
on a
the
second here.
word. Mhm.
I accidentally clicked on a link, and I just don't want to. I'm trying to get a picture of the checkerboard flag, which I just found, and I'm just trying to share it. So,
Oh yeah, that'd be great. I can send you
oops, hold
links
on.
later.
Yeah. Hold on one second.
Just take your time.
Let me get back over to the main page here. Okay. So, just bear with me one second. Trying to show the flag. Just my computer's having some issues. It's being really slow for some reason. Okay. One second here. Come on. It's coming. It's coming. Hold on one. Okay, there. I think I got it now. Nope. Go ahead and talk. While I'm trying to figure this out. You still there? Oh, there we go. There. Share. Oh. Oops, I lost him. Uh-oh. Let me hold on a second. Hold on one second, people. Let me get him back here. Hold on one. Just sending him a message through Facebook. Just bear with me. Okay, here we go. He's back. Oop.
On for a second.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
You're back on.
Oh, yeah, I appreciate it. Exactly, that's the flag.
Yeah. Sorry about that. Didn't know what happened. I think I booted you when I was looking.
Yeah, it's all right.
Okay. Yeah. So that's the Moorish flag.
Yeah, you could say that's more Moorish than what they picked. See what I'm
Okay.
saying? Like there is more flags that came afterward, like This is al-Muwahhid um, uh, kingdom, and then Marinid came after, which is what I told you, two squares, and then Wattasid, and then Sadis, and Sadis afterward is the kingdom of
Yeah,
Morocco that we know nowadays.
yeah. I'm
Oh,
playing a
exactly.
video.
There we go.
Yeah, I'm
Oh, there
just
we
playing
go.
it.
Yes. Okay. Yeah, for Nolas, that's great. Marinid. Yeah, that's what we use in here.
Okay.
They use two different flags. That's what we take as
Yes.
a symbol for the
So
Moorish movement in Morocco. The, the Marinid one, with the golden star.
okay. Yeah. So that's so they've got the flag wrong.
Yeah. If they say 10,000, there is no evidence that shows 10,000 years ago. What are we talking about here? Like, not even correct. That's the thing.
Yeah.
And I have sent you some. The first, I'll just mark it. Um, this picture here is a proof and evidence about um the Moors, how they looked like. You know,
Yeah.
it's Tariq.
I've shown pictures of what the Moors looked like. I don't know if you can see the picture under that's above my name, but
If I
that's a web.
if
Go
I
ahead.
can only click on it, yeah.
Though that's off of a website that I found that these people are descendants of the Moors.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I zoomed in and yeah, totally. Those are the faces I'm familiar with. Those are
Yeah,
the faces of my grandmas, grandpas, and everybody around me. It's fully ashamed to claim that those people are just something else. They're not, and that you are the actual one. It's totally a, this disgrace. A total like it makes us feel like we worth nothing. It's really racist, as the stated. I don't know because I don't know what else to say about it.
yeah. They're trying. The problem with the so-called Moorish American in this country is there was a lot of racism going on in the early 1900s.
Hmm.
So their so-called prophet decided to come up with a scheme to call them Moorish Americans so they wouldn't be discriminated against because they were blacks.
Oh,
So
okay.
so if they called themselves Moorish Americans
We have to call them
and
that
and
exactly.
not African Americans, they wouldn't get discriminated against.
Yeah, it's total nonsense for me to be honest, because you can be like you can. I don't know about myself because I've never been to USA, but I've seen, for example, let's pick someone famous who's Moroccan, French Montana, for example. He's Moroccan, and I believe that they don't call Moroccans African Americans either, even though. Well,
No,
I've had a conversation about with a girl who's actually black and she's from America, and she says that it's more based on historical facts to call them African Americans and all. But I don't know about the situation there. But it doesn't make any sense to call someone something that they please, and that doesn't make any sense because it's not in the favor of other people like us, because we are the actual Moors. And the problem of Morocco is that we don't teach our people or our kids that. Like, we don't teach them that we are Moors and we come from this and that. We had a problem with Arabization, if you know what I'm saying. Like, we've been Arabizated and turned to Arab speakers because we're not actually Arabs, but we are Arab speakers. And that's a total different topic, but it serves the Middle Eastern agendas because they have money to, put into that and make us speak Arabic and make, I don't know. And the government is really willing to do that too and push us into being Arabs and make an Arab world that doesn't even exist.
yeah,
And that helps Afrocentrics, as we call them, or to be specific, Moorish Americans, as they call themselves, to claim our culture and strip us from it because they say, "Oh, you are Arab, you just go to where you come from, and that culture is ours," and that's totally false. It's totally not based on any evidence that is historical, neither scientific. And that's really problematic.
Yeah, I agree with you 100% there. It's, there's a term that I use called culture vultures,
Yeah,
and that's what they are. I um they believe, some of them believe that they are so powerful and have control over everything and everybody, but they don't. They're
hmm
the problem with a lot of these Moorish American here in this country is the majority of them found found it when they were in jail, and then it just
that,
got that's
that's
and then it
really
just
interesting.
exploded.
So yeah, I don't think it is this part of jail and finding out the power because
Yeah,
it's see that's the thing because none of that makes any sense.
yeah,
None of it makes to a regular human being with with mind like with a logical sense. Nothing makes none of that. What they say, what they claim is makes any sense. That's the problem.
exactly. They like to use put L or Bay at the end of their name, so it, they call themselves John Smith L or John Smith Bay, and they think that's part of being a Moor. But when you do some research, L and Bay were some names of some African tribes.
That's interesting.
Yeah,
Uh, but what African tribes are we talking about? Like North
that I
African ones?
that I don't know. I
Hmm.
found it on in some court records where this so-called Moorish American was claiming that the United States, they don't have to listen to the laws, they don't have to follow the laws of the United States, and
Yeah, that's that's pretty. That's I've seen that. I think one of your streams, or I've been going through some things like that, and I've seen that there was a guy who says that they don't have to go like with whatever the government says, and they have to make up their own ID and stuff like
yes,
that. And that's
yes,
pretty crazy to me. Like a whole country, a whole system of a country, you just gonna go against this. Doesn't make any sense.
yeah, and I these so-called Moorish Americans are giving the descendants of the Moors and the Moorish movement in your country a bad name,
Hmm.
which which is sad. So we'll call this the final thought here. So what, in your words, what are your thoughts on these people who claim to be Moorish American?
Well, in general, it's obvious. The first thing that comes up to my head is no, like not even close. You know, it's the thing is there are black people here that lives with us. They can claim to be Moorish, and that is more convincing than these people because these people lived in USA. It's so far away to claim another culture like this, if you know what I mean.
Yes,
Like and just to jump from here to from there like to from USA to Africa here and claim a whole culture that you have nothing to do with, you have no evidence of, you have no genetic relations to whatsoever, no linguistic even, nothing at all, and then just want to claim it. It's nonsense to me. And then as I got deeper into it, I just get shocked every time. I'm like, what are you talking about? Like I wish I could have them around here, teach them all about the proper Moorish culture, about what is actually what does it mean to be Moor? What does it really like? What does it feel and mean? And what is actually being Moor? If you know what I mean? Because none of what they claim, and I'm like, just no, that's totally wrong. It's absolutely wrong. Like everything they say, everything they claim to dress, everything they claim to, like the names, as you said, is pretty new to me. Bay L, we don't use that at all. It's so not familiar in North Africa. We use totally different names. If we talk about the original Moorish names, that's totally different. It's called Bukus, Baga, Atlas, Abuhud. Those are Moorish names. Those are 100% Moorish names. Because we talk about the kingdom of Mauritania like 100 BC before the 100 years before Christ. And those are original, not affected by any other culture. Those are pure Moorish names. Why didn't you look into it if you want to claim the culture? That means that you are relying on some false sources, which is definitely the whole book and whatever they have in their hands. They claim to be Quran and the Prophet that they call Ali something. You know, if you know what I
Jewelry.
mean. Yeah, Drew Ali, and nah, it's none of that is correct. To me, as a Moorish person, an actual person who lived in the culture, surrounded by the Moorish people, lived and studied and grow up into the culture, it's totally strange for me. It doesn't from far. It seems like some couple people that gather up that want to make up stuff, and then they looked around, they picked up something randomly and just claim it a Moroccan flag, whatever. Let's give it 10,000 years old. What are you talking? 10,000 years old? Like that's even older than that's almost as old as the Ibro Mauritian. The I would call it the father of Moors, if you know what I mean, genetically. That's the
Yeah.
Ibro 14,000 years ago. Ibro Mauritian is the oldest evidence of the indigenous people of North Africa that look exactly like us, by the way. And you say that the flag is that old, 10,000 years ago, bro? What? That's total nonsense. It doesn't make any sense.
Yeah. Hey, I want to thank you for coming on,
Yeah, appreciate
and
it. I appreciate having me around.
yeah, and we'll have to do this again.
Yeah, absolutely. I would come with. I would the next time I would come with because I haven't really prepared much. I will come with definite sources and more evidence that just to back up what I'm saying. And I'm sorry
Okay.
for my English because I'm not native
Your
speaker.
English is perfectly fine.
I appreciate it. It's help people to understand me because here I would love to explain to people to understand who we are more than debunk anyone because they already debunked themselves saying those stuff because that is surprisingly funny at some
Yeah.
point. But I would love to spread awareness more. So I will next time I will bring more sources that are reliable and 100%
Okay. Good.
accurate.
Okay. Great. And again, thank you for coming on. And I'll
A
contact
pleasure.
you through Facebook, and we'll talk a little bit more.
All right, that's great. I
Okay.
appreciate it.
Thank
Thank
you.
you so much for
Yeah.
having me.
Yeah. Have a good day.
Thank you. You too.
Yeah. Bye.